Hi guys, welcome back to another yoga practice, and today we are going to be going through a yin yoga sequence which has been very highly requested, so I really hope you enjoy this one. If you did, make sure you share it with your family and your friends, give me a little thumbs up, and also let me know and I'll plan like way more yin ones. We're going to start lying on our back, and you want to make sure you're nice and comfortable and you're nice and warm, so feel free to put on a layer, have blankets and props and things around you. I've got my phone today just because we are going to time these postures, just so we're nice and even on both sides. So just so you know, I'm not like texting or whatever. But we're going to come and start on our back. And however you want to sprawl your body out, so maybe taking the legs out as wide as your mat, maybe even wider. And then bring your arms out to the sides. Draw your shoulder blades together so the back of the heart can really rest down. Take a moment to wriggle out your fingers and toes and then relax them. And then take a moment just to swipe your head from side to side. And then relax the head in a central position in stillness. Take a nice big breath. And a big sigh. Just becoming aware of how it feels to be lying back on your mat today. Becoming aware of how the physical body is feeling today. Noticing where the mind is, maybe it's not quite on the mat yet. And see if you can allow your mind to meet your body here, so resting the attention on the breath, on physical sensation. So a yin practice is a meditative practice. We are going to be holding poses for longer periods of time. And we're going to be looking for what we call the edge. So that knife edge of a pose where we're finding the stretch, but we're not overdoing it. So it's that kind of knife edge. Lovely. Take a nice big breath in. Take a big sigh out. We're going to come back to the shape at the end. Good. Drawing the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then find a bit of momentum. Rock up and down the length of the spine. We're going to come into our first pose, seated, soles of the feet together. We're just going to slide our feet just a little bit further away from us. Target area is our groin area, and we're going to be holding this for 2 minutes. So allow your body to round forwards. You can use pillows, blocks and things to rest your head on, or you can just let your head hang in space. Lovely. So target area is the groin. Releasing through the neck. And allow yourself to settle in here. So for the first few seconds of a pose, you might fidget, you might adjust. That's totally fine and allowed. But for the majority of the pose, can you find stillness? It's honestly the hardest part of the yin yoga practice. So as you begin to settle into the pose, allow the body to soften and settle as well. Allowing the muscles to relax so we can work into our connective tissue, our fascia. And give it a little bit of love, a little bit of attention. You're already over halfway through in this pose. So can you allow yourself to go a little bit deeper, maybe just finding that knife edge. If the mind starts to wander, can you bring it back to physical sensations and just the natural flow of your breath? Wonderful. Taking one more big breath in here. Take a big sigh out. Wonderful. And then slowly, slowly walking your hands back towards you, slowly coming out of the pose, closing up the knees like a book. Rest the soles of the feet down. Let your head drop down and come to a seated child's pose. And just notice how that feels to release. Maybe there's parts of the body that get a little bit warmer or cooler. Taking this opportunity just to watch what the body does. We call these little breaks in between the rebound pose. Lovely. From here we're coming into our next pose, which is going to be a back bend to counterpose that forward bend. So we're going to come down onto our tummy. Move nice and slow. You can always keep your eyes closed or like your eyes half open, so it's like a really restful pose. So coming down onto the belly and then bringing your elbows underneath the shoulders so your forearms are on the mat. So this might be enough. You want to relax your legs, relax your bum. So this might be enough of an opening and enough of a back bend. You are welcome to stay here. Or if you'd like to intensify, you can take your fingers out to the sides and then begin to straighten your arms. Now, if your bum begins to clench, you want to come lower. You want to keep your glutes nice and relaxed. If you feel like you can go higher, but you need to take your feet wider, take them wider in a lower position and then come on back up. So this might be an option for some of us, but forearms is totally valid. So have a little bit of a mooch, find like what you need. We're going to be here for 2 minutes as well, and the timer is on. If you find you start to lose intensity throughout the practice, you can always come deeper, but just build up to it. Try not to take yourself into the fullest, deepest expression straight away. You often find with time and patience, the body will give you that little bit of extra space in its own time. So relaxing through the hands and the feet. Noticing that light compression through the lower back. Maybe slightly bringing a bit of compression into the kidney area. We're coming up to halfway, so if you feel like you would now like to intensify, you are welcome to. Maybe taking the arms out wider, straightening up the arms. Head can be wherever you can let the head drop back or let the head drop down. Making sure the glutes are nice and relaxed. Opening up through the front side of the body. And just taking a moment to ask yourself, are you aware that you are here, fully here in this pose, in this practice? Coaxing the mind back to the present, back to this meditative practice every time that it wants to take a little wander. Very almost there. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, slowly come on down, release, stop. Lovely. From here you can rest your head onto your hands and hold it here. Or if it feels more nourishing, big toes together and push back to a child's pose. Lengthen through the lumbar spine. And just notice how it feels to have exited from that pose now. How's that? Allowing the lower back to come back to neutral. Wonderful. Good. When you're ready, coming forwards to all fours, and we're going to come into our next pose. So let's start with our right side. So you're going to bring your right foot on the outside of your right hand. Now for some of us, we will need to come up higher. So this is totally the pose. We're sinking into the front of our left thigh. That's target area. So maybe some of us are here. Some of us are maybe down on our hands. You might want to bring a bolster or some pillows. Maybe some of us are like all the way down here. But like, just go to your own intensity. We are here for 2 minutes on each side. So settle in. Nice. So if you do need to like micro adjust with the hips at all, allow it. And then allow yourself to settle in. So a big hip opener, but we are opening up through the front of that left hip, front of the left thigh. Allowing the jaw to soften. And then just riding that edge, surfing the edge. With each exhale, just finding a little bit more ease and maybe comfort as we go a little bit deeper, working down through the layers of the body, the physical body and the subtle body. Notice your breath. If your breath starts to get a bit short and sharp, possibly you begin to hold the breath or it becomes panicky, we've maybe gone a bit too far. So don't forget, you can always come back. And the beauty with yin poses is that they all look different and they are like beautifully messy poses. But it's all about releasing down into the physical body, releasing tension, trauma, stress, and working into that subtle body. We're nearly there at 2 minutes. Take a big breath. Big sigh out. Wonderful. Slowly, slowly exit from the pose. Now, this might not look pretty. You might want to flop to one side, flop onto your back for a minute. You might want to rest onto your tummy. You might want to rest in child's pose. So don't worry, like whatever I'm doing, just allow yourself or allow your body to dictate what it wants as you release. How does that feel? What is that sensation like? Good, and then we'll meet back in an all fours position and sit up for our opposite side, and it might not necessarily look the same, and that is cool. So left foot comes on the outside of your left hand. If you want to start all the way up here, this is an option. Maybe we start on our hands. So give yourself a moment to like adjust, settle in, and then find some stillness. Closing the eyes or just soften the focus. Yin is a very internal practice. It's a very personal practice. So it is nice to close off the eyes and like shut off the world a little bit. Steady the breath. And allow yourself to work down into the front of that right hip. Softening down through those layers. If you want to come a little bit deeper, I invite you to come on down. And just notice if any areas of the body are kind of clinging and holding on. I mean, some areas might need to just hold the shape. But maybe there's some unnecessary tension, possibly in the fingers and toes and in the face. Can you just allow that to melt away? making it a full body-mind experience. Notice if any conversation in the mind starts to come up. Is there like a doubting voice? A voice that's telling you to move away from that tension? But what if this time you moved yourself towards it? What would happen? And as long as we're nice and relaxed and we approach the practice with love and kindness towards ourselves, we should never injure ourselves. We might release emotions and things, but we can breathe through it, and it's a really safe way. You're there. Take a nice big breath. Take a big sigh. Wonderful. And then however you want to exit this pose, again, might not be pretty. Let the body dictate and move nice and slow. So maybe you rest on your tummy, on your back, maybe into child's pose. What happens when you release from that pose? Where does the sensation travel to or move to? Very, very nice, everyone. Good. From here, we're going to meet in a seated position. So when you're ready, make your way to a seated position, nice and slow. And we're going to come into a forward fold. We're going to do caterpillar pose. So bringing the legs out in front, maybe hip width, maybe a little bit wider. Relax your feet. So let go of like the yang kind of version of flexing the feet. So really soften through those feet. Nice. From here, take a nice breath in. And then as you exhale, round your body forward. Now this is where a bolster or a brick comes in handy. You can rest your head onto a pillow or a bolster. Let your head drop down. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So hands rest by your sides. So a nice rounding of the spine, so you really release through the muscles that run along the spine. Lower back. Feeling it maybe in towards the hamstrings as well. Releasing through the jaw. And as you see over time, what happens to sensation? Does it get greater with time, or does it ease off? Does it become easier? But in our yin poses, there is nothing to strive for. There is no goal, perfect alignment, pretty shapes. They just are what they are. Check in with the feet. Notice if the toes habitually begin to engage. Relax the toes. Relax your entire existence and just allow the skeleton of you to be held by gravity. You've got less than 30 seconds left. Very nice, everyone. Keeping the breath calm. Notice where you are now in the pose compared to like when you first entered it. And you are there, 2 minutes. Take a nice big breath. Take a big sigh. Good. Slowly, slowly making your way all the way back up, and we're going to rest onto our back. So when you're ready, come on down and just take a little mini Savasana just to feel the back of your body supported now by the mat. How does that feel to exit that pose? Very nice. From here, bringing the knees in towards the chest. We're going to take our arms out into a cactus shape or a T shape. we're going to take some reclined twists or twisted roots if you want a little bit more. So you're going to bring your feet down, shimmy your hips to the left, and then allowing the knees to drop to the right. If you want more for twisted roots, you can bring your left leg over, double wrap the legs, and then allow the knees to drop to the right. So we're going to be here for just a minute on each side. So reset, here we go, minute. So as you have your arms out, you should feel a nice twist through the middle waist. Maybe there's a light opening through your left shoulder. And allow yourself to settle in. Softening through the tummy, let go of any core engagement whatsoever. There is nothing to hold up, there is nothing to hold on to. Let go. You are there at a minute. Take a nice big breath. Take a sigh. Awesome. And then slowly come back through the middle. Unwind the legs if you've got them crossed and just take a moment in neutral. How does it feel to release from that side? Good. And then shifting the hips over to the right. Maybe your right leg crosses on top of the left, maybe not. And then allowing the legs to drop over to the left, coming into that twist for 1 minute, just to balance off the sides. Check in with the mind, always bring it back. If it wants to take that little walk, bring it back every single time. Huge part of the practice. Notice if you're habitually holding on, just like you would in like a vinyasa class or something. And just be aware of that and use an exhale to loosen your grip. Very nice, well done. Take a nice big breath in. Let it go. Awesome, come back through center, come to neutral. Take a pause here, feet flat on the earth, knees to the sky. How does it feel to release? Awesome. We're gonna come into a Savasana now, so taking your legs out as wide as your mat, maybe even wider. Arms by our sides, have the palms facing up. Draw shoulder blades together. Maybe the chin slightly tucks to the chest just to lengthen the back of the neck. Big breath in. Big sigh out. As if your body was going to fall through the mat. Coming back to this same shape, but maybe feeling a little bit different. Maybe there's an unblocking or unlocking of something. But whatever that is, let it go. Rest your attention onto your breath. So through every yoga pose, through pretty much everything we do in life, we live in this paradox of a balance of yin and yang. So this physical posture is yin. It's soft, it's cooling. And the yang element of this pose is the self-discipline to be still, which is very, very hard. So see if you can allow this yin and yang practice to be in balance for just 1 minute of stillness now. Total stillness of body and mind. 1 minute. Starting to deepen the inhale. Lengthen the exhale. Allowing yourself to come back up to surface. Light movement in the fingers, the toes. Letting the head drop side to side, swiping the nose across the sky. And when you're ready, reaching the hands up and overhead. Take a long and luxurious stretch down every side. Maybe a point and flex of the feet. Very, very, very well done. Awesome. Scoop up the knees. Give yourself a little hug. Hug it like you mean it. And take a little rock from side to side, and then just fall to whatever side you naturally feel drawn to. Use your arm or your hand as a little pillow. Just this little halfway stop. In this little kind of fetal position to signify a new beginning. And then slowly, mindfully, keeping your eyes closed, coming up to find a comfortable seated position, whatever that may look like for you. Keeping the eyes closed. And just take a moment to find ease in your seat. And notice how you feel. If there was anything that came up for you in today's practice that you can let go of, that's no longer serving you. Maybe you found today's practice really, really hard, and that's okay. Come back to the practice. Always, always come back to the practice. Let's bring our hands together at heart center. Bow the head to the heart. Thank yourself for carving out this time and effort for this yin yoga practice. And just take a moment to really thank the practice for all that it does for our lives. Blinking the eyes open. Thank you so much for sharing your yin yoga practice with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give a little thumbs up, and I will see you on the next practice. Bye guys.